Right now at 5, a public meeting in Miami looks at recurring flooding issues in the town.
And road conditions greatly improved across the area, at least on the main roads, and it's going to be just a smidgen warmer today. Look at that forecast. Get you out the door coming up.
Plus, we'll see how some area businesses are faring after the winter storm.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is a finally Friday in the 4 states, and it's the 21st. And Monday is the day we're all waiting for.
I thought you were saying it was Monday. I was like, no.
I wish it was.
Right?
And I know it's weird, but I wish it was because it's going to be about
great.
60 degrees on Monday.
Looking outside right now, it's
hard to believe. Yeah, it is. It is hard to believe that, driving through this morning, but it's going to be 60 degrees in just a few days, but believe it because it is true. Let's take a look outside, though, because right now it's not 60 degrees, regrettably. And some good news, as you can see, road conditions greatly improved. Are there still spots that are difficult? Absolutely. And you can see there's still some slushy marks there down the center of Broadway near 4th Street in Pittsburgh. But otherwise not bad. And MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline looking back to the east, also looking pretty good this morning as well. The side roads, though, that's the problem, and that's why we have yet again a number of cancellations, closings, and otherwise maybe things closing early today because, regrettably, the side roads are not all that great. My drive in, again, main roads were fine. I ran into a couple of areas of some patchy black ice, some slick spots, but nothing major. But again, the side roads, my neighborhood street, still packed in snow. It's why buses can't get through. And as you can see, clear roadways for most of us around Mound City. We've got some wet pavement down around Columbus and south of Parsons. Still some wet pavement out there as well. On the Missouri side, Missouri reporting virtually everything as clear until you get south of Monette and around Cassville. Still some partly covered roadways in parts of Berry County, but otherwise, again, looking much better. We do have cold weather advisories, Oklahoma, Arkansas through 9 o'clock this morning because, well, it's very cold out there again this morning, but those expire at 9 a.m. because it will improve. We're looking at partly cloudy skies for most of us. Skies will gradually clear as we head through the afternoon. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still going to be really cold today. We're only going to make about the 20s, but it is still warmer than where it was yesterday. In fact, I was putting in all the numbers, and everything was about 10 to 12 degrees warmer today than what I put in for the numbers yesterday. Coldest spot right now, Iola at 1 below 0. 0 Fort Scott, Stockton, Lamar. We've got a lot of single digits out there. And then you factor in the breeze, thankfully, calm. It's pretty light, not much of a breeze, but it is making it feel a little colder in some locations, but not significantly so. And that's great news. Winds are expected to be calm through the day. Again, skies gradually clearing. Highs today into the upper 20s. Now, bear in mind, our average highs are about 50. So we're not quite there yet, but we are on our way. We'll talk about the warming trend and how it's going to continue, and about some maybe rain chances next week as well, here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, it's been a problem and the source of frustration for years. The recurring issue of flooding was the topic of a town hall meeting in Miami last night. Now, last night's meeting comes amid ongoing litigation between the city of Miami and the Grand River Dam Authority. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more.
The damage has been done. GRDA has flooded us. They've done it willingly, they've done it knowingly, and they've done it with intent.
The city of Miami held a town hall meeting where community members could make their voices heard about the flooding their community has been dealing with for years.
It's caused economic damage. It's caused people to not be able to have homes anymore. They had to have homes destroyed or spend months repairing it or move altogether.
And the lawyer for the city says the cause of all the flooding is the Grand River Authority, who controls the Pensacola Dam. The Pensacola Dam holds the water in Grand Lake.
That GRDA is causing dam-caused flooding, and the GRDA needs to be held accountable, and they either need to address those issues.
The city says this is a result of the GRDA's mismanagement of the waterway and their current license.
We want there to be rules and regulations to them operating this dam, and we want them to be followed. Right now, there's rules and regulations been put in place, but they don't follow any of them.
At the town meeting, they asked that the community share their input on proposed Federal Energy Regulatory Commission license conditions.
Is to give their thoughts as to what improvements they think would be available or would make the city better, so that those can then be presented to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission so that they can be considered as part of the relicensing process.
Over 400 people and businesses who have suffered as a result of the flooding have filed a civil suit against the GRDA. This is still ongoing.
Our main goal is for Miami not to flood.
The goal of the meeting was to answer questions from the public and hear the experiences of those who have struggled with flooding. Reporting in Miami, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Last year, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission found that the Pensacola Dam project had increased flooding around Miami. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. While a lot of main roads and highways are mostly clear, plenty of secondary and rural roads look like this. Many are snow-packed and dangerous. Now, this was in Crawford County yesterday. Now, even in areas that appear to be mostly clear, these extremely cold temperatures can create a potentially hazardous glaze. The plow operators have been hard at work, many working long shifts. This is downtown Pittsburgh, where crews have managed to mostly clear the roads for traffic. Now, the term for what's left behind, a windrow. Now, that's the discharge creating a snow barrier between the lanes. The scene is similar in communities across the 4 states. And you can get the latest road conditions and power outages across the area anytime through this QR code. It'll direct you to links on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, for information for each of the 4 states in our viewing area. Also, for a list of closings in the area due to winter weather, you can just scan this QR code for school, government, church closings, and more. The QR code will take you straight to the closings page of our website. Once there, you can also find instructions on how to submit other closings. The wintry conditions forced several businesses across the 4 states to close their doors, creating challenges for both owners and employees. Now that they've reopened, we visited some Joplin businesses and spoke with customers to see just how thrilled they are to return to their favorite places.
Oh, it's great. We have a really decent customer base. A lot of regulars. I've already had a few this morning come in. And we do a lot of to-go orders, DoorDash and otherwise. I've actually had a couple of downtown businesses already come in and ask for a couple of orders.
Ever since things started opening back up yesterday, I was able to get out of the house for a little bit and get to do some remote work at one of my favorite coffee shops, Joplin Avenue Coffee. Support local if you can. It's great to get out if you can.
Now, businesses we spoke to said that Facebook played the largest role in letting customers know they were back open again. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Missouri Southern basketball tries to get back in the win column to earn a spot in the MIAA tournament. Plus, archaeologists are hoping to revive tourism to many historical landmarks in Syria. And we have a cold and partly cloudy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Our local college basketball teams hit the hardwood once again last night, both on the road. Pittsburgh State up at Nebraska Kearney, taking on the Lopers in their final road trip of the regular season. 5th-ranked Pittsburgh State women's basketball wins its 15th consecutive game last night, 81-74 on the road over Nebraska Kearney. Gorilla senior Corinna Gerber has 9 rebounds in this one. That makes her the all-time leader in that category in Pittsburgh State program history. She's got 843 rebounds and counting. Now, the Pitt State men also got a win last night, 100-93 over Nebraska Kearney. Jordan Friesen has an incredible game with 25 points and how about this, 18 assists. That's a single game program record, and it's more than Kearney's entire team. The Gorillas have now won 6 in a row. They play on the road at Fort Hays State this Saturday. Missouri Southern basketball also beginning its final road trip of the 24-25 regular season. Now, right now, both Lions teams are fighting just to earn a spot in the MIAA tournament, which isn't guaranteed to every conference member. The Southern women have now lost 3 in a row after falling to Fort Hays State 64-55 last night. Lions put up a good fight against the number 7 team in the country, but they end up shooting just 31% from the floor as a team, and will try to get back in the win column this Saturday at Nebraska Kearney. State result for the Missouri Southern men's basketball. The Lions fall to Hays 70-59. Now lost 7 of their last 9 games, all against conference opponents. Southern had a tough time slowing down Caleb Hammocky and Kyle Grill, who combined to score 46 points on the night for the Tigers. And today, regionals begin for Kansas High School boys wrestlers, which of course determines who gets to advance to state next weekend. Girls regionals have already taken place, and out of our local schools in Southeast Kansas, we have 12 regional champions, and here they are. Harper Holmes and Savannah Shires from Pittsburgh in Class 5A. In 4A, Fort Scott Tigers are regional champs. Kaylin Westcote, Kenny Miles, Jerry Smith, and Allie Simheiser. Still in Class 4A, here's some more regional champions. Adeline Wacker from Iola, Kylan Perry from Frontenac, Kaylin McAtee from Girard, and Kylie Dillo from Chanute. Then in Classes 3 to 1A, Eden Hill from Fredonia and Humboldt's Taven Baylor both won regional titles. Again, these are just the list of regional champions. In total, 76 of our local wrestlers from Southeast Kansas are headed to Girls State next weekend. Well, still to come, we'll hear how a one-woman's scary experience turns into a heartwarming story in time for Heart Health Month. Plus, another check of that forecast, talk about that warmer weather that's headed our way when we come back. Welcome back to the KOM Morning News 517 about on this Friday morning. It is finally Friday. Boy, what a week it has been. I'm sure many of you are probably waiting for me to, or at least to tell you what day of the week it is, honestly, because I thought yesterday was Friday. It's just been chaotic, to say the least, over the last few days. But we are finally at the real Friday, and we know this is true because we're still here. If it was Saturday, Elise and I would not be here. You would not be watching us because we do not do the morning show on Saturday mornings. So it is Friday. Take a look downtown Pittsburgh. We do still have some snow out there. There's going to be slick spots. Now keep in mind, this is also leading in to that left turn lane. That's really, we're going to run into, I think, the bigger issues on just about any city street in any community around here is getting into some of those left turn lanes or those right turn lanes, you know, that have the little island that you yield and then you go and everything. That's probably where we're still going to have some slick spots. But we've seen significant improvements across the entire area, which is looking just fantastic. Now, side streets, and we mentioned this earlier, and we're going to mention it again, and I'll remind you now. Side streets are the problem we're facing. That's why there are so many cancellations and closings out there again today, because it's the side streets. Buses and things can't get through. And trash trucks, for example, running behind as well because they can't get down the alleyways and side streets either. But again, otherwise, a lot of the main roads, significant improvements. We still have seasonal conditions or some slick spots, some wet pavement around the Mound City area down toward Columbus, south of Parsons, parts of Labette County out there. And you can see this. I regretfully do not know for sure exactly what that's. I apologize. I think that's 171 on the Kansas side coming into Missouri. There's not a Missouri connection here, so I think that's what that is. It's listed as partly covered. It's difficult to tell on this broad map, but I'm pretty sure that's part of K171, still listed as partly covered. On the Missouri side, the only partly covered roadways around the Cassville area down into Berry County. Everything else, MoDOT is reporting as clear. In all honesty, it's pretty darn clear. You still got to watch out for some patchy black ice. There's still going to be some slick spots because we haven't been able to get much melting done because that hasn't been warm enough to get a lot of melting done. We also have cold weather advisories, Oklahoma and Arkansas through 9 a.m. Thankfully, they don't last too long, but it is still quite cold out there. Now, today, I was punching the numbers into the forecast graphics that we'll show you in a minute, and just about all of them, about a 10 to 12 degree increase from what we had yesterday. And that's really going to be the trend over the next few days, is we're going to continue to have roughly 10 degree increases over the next few days as we head into the weekend and next week. Today, partly cloudy skies for most of us with gradual clearing out there. Winds are expected to be calm and temperatures still well below normal, but warmer than where we were yesterday. Now tonight we got another very cold night, and winds will pick up just a bit out of the south at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. We should have a very sunny day tomorrow, which will allow us to be a little warmer, still below normal, but warmer than today even as we go upper 30s. Take a look at Bartlesville. Some of our southern counties even may reach the low 40s for a little bit on our Saturday. Breezy though Saturday, gusty southwest winds, and that will continue to usher in warmer air as we head into next week. Speaking of, it is not very warm right now. This map is very depressing. I'm tired of looking at these temperatures, and I know what the argument is. You can put on more layers in the winter than you can take off in the summer. But so far, I'm sure somebody's got some. But that's about the only thing I've heard about the heat that's bad is, yeah, you're right. You can't run around your city naked. You could, but it's not going to end well for you. So you can't take off more layers in the summer. But you know what? I don't have to wake up early so I can get my car warmed up or jump to get the day going. I don't have to go slow, or you don't have to wake up early and go slow and have your 20-minute commute be an hour long because the roads are too hot. How many times has that been a problem where the roads have been too hot that you can't get out? It hasn't. So there are many pros to it being warmer. Now, granted, I don't want it to be 100, but anything's better than where we are. And you can see wind chills, though, not a lot of difference. And that's the nice thing. It's why we don't have so many cold weather alerts across the area, because, again, the winds are relatively calm out there. We're going to start very cold, but warm up a little into the upper teens by 11 a.m. with those partly cloudy skies. Heading into the afternoon, mid-upper 20s. That's better than upper single digits or in low teens, so a big improvement for us. Winds will be calm. Again, south winds tonight about 5 to 10 miles an hour. We'll go into the low teens out there, so another very cold night, but clear skies. Sunny for us tomorrow, another 10 degrees warmer, so upper 30s. Then take a look at Sunday, about 50, not bad. Monday. Cannot get here soon enough. I don't want the weekend to fly by necessarily, but I am ready for this. 61 on Monday, 63 Tuesday, maybe some showers Wednesday. Now remember, this is our average high, about 51. So we're going to be above normal, and it'll remain that way. We'll have that mix of above and at normal as we head through next week. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Just a couple more days, everyone, and we're going to get there. Let's check your forecast. Back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, food contamination is becoming more widespread and in many cases severe. Now, according to a report published by the Public Interest Research Group, most illnesses in 2024 were linked to just 13 outbreaks. Now, that's despite more than 300 food recalls last year. Now, researchers say Salmonella, Listeria, and E. coli were the most common reasons for food recalls. 19 people died from an illness related to contaminated food, double the number from 2023. Well, February is Heart Health Month, a time to raise awareness for the leading cause of death in the United States, heart disease. A Neosho woman is sharing her experience of a scary time in her life and how a doctor and his team at Freeman Health performed life-saving surgery. KOAM's Anthony Saviello brings us her story.
Likewise. It's more than just a warm embrace. It's a reunion between Cindy Brand and the doctor who saved her life.
I love Dr. Bang. I am so thankful that he was the one here. So very thankful.
After a blood clot blocked an artery in her lung last July, Cindy was rushed to the hospital where a series of challenges were presented to Dr. Bang and his team, forcing them to take unique steps to save Cindy's life.
We have these newer techniques now where we can treat this clot in the lungs without giving clot busting medicine with a powerful catheter that can suck that clot out so that blood can flow by and can get oxygenated and supply the rest of the body.
Both Cindy and Dr. Bang agree everything came together perfectly to give Cindy a second chance.
Now that you ask, I hate to admit it, but I think if there might have been even one small misstep along the way, things could have looked different.
Everything just fell in
Everything just
place.
was destined to be.
Now Cindy is getting back to normal.
I'm back to work full time. Started slow, but I'm back working full time, and yeah, I'm doing really well.
And it's all thanks to Dr. Bang.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
In Joplin, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Now, Cindy works at an elementary school in Neosho, and she says during her time in the hospital, she received a card every day from students. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got our eyes on the roads. They're looking much better out there. Still some slick spots. And, of course, we have a number of closings and closures and cancellations. Find those down at the bottom of your screen on our website as well. We'll talk about the slightly warmer weather we're having today when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, a local business explains how the cold can affect your pipes and heating system.
And we've got improving road conditions out there. Still some slick spots here and there. We'll have a look at that real quick, plus the slightly warmer temperatures coming up.
Plus, there's no business like snow business for some Carthage kids shoveling snow for their neighbors.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's finally Friday in the 4 states. It is February the 21st. We've made it. We've made it through Friday. It really is Friday. Today really, truly is Friday.
Thank goodness.
I thought it was yesterday.
Long.
I don't know. Half these days this week have just been chaotic.
They certainly have. The winter weather can add so much stress. Just, how early do I need to leave to get somewhere? Should I even leave at all? And so it just makes for a long week.
Yeah, it does. It really does. And I unfortunately was right. I knew it Monday because I just knew what the temperatures were going to do. Not necessarily the amount of snow we got, but the temperatures and the fact nothing could melt. And that's what happened. My kids, I'm sure many of them out there, have not been to school all week long. Practically a spring break, but in
just
February. Yeah. And then they're going to be out for another week here in just not too much longer before spring break actually does end. But they will be going back to school next week, and how we know that it's going to be a lot warmer, and we're going to start that warming trend today. Let's take a quick look outside downtown Pittsburgh. Look at that. You can see that the roads still, they're considerably better. They're definitely better to drive on, but there are still areas like coming into the left turn lane here where there's going to be some snow. There's going to be some slick spots. I ran into some of those on the way up here. The roads are 95% clear, but it's that 5% you still need to watch out for this morning as you're heading out. And the side roads are the other issue. Side roads and back roads are the number one reason, really. Schools and things are closed because the buses and even trash trucks can't get up and down these side roads, and so that's why we've got these issues, and we haven't been able to do any melting, but that's going to change. Not today, but it will. We're taking a look. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line, looking fairly good as well. Onto the maps, and yeah, I'm pretty confident that this is the K171, that little sliver here before it goes down to Missouri, because for some reason it doesn't show on this side, but it's still listed as partly covered in this little spot here from 69 to the state line. And then we've got some slick spots, some wet pavement, parts of Cherokee, Labette counties, and then up around Mound City. Otherwise, we're starting to look better. On the Missouri side, same thing. Now remember, Missouri side, this green is clear, so they're MoDOT reporting clear roadways out there. Still some slick spots possible, and we have some partly covered roadways around Cassville, but even this has changed because we had this going outside of that zone, so they're still continuing to improve. Cold weather advisories, Oklahoma, Arkansas through 9 o'clock this morning because, well, it's cold out there again, and it will be cold again tomorrow morning as well as we start to gradually warm up across the area. Partly cloudy skies, those skies eventually clearing as we head through the afternoon into the evening. A calm wind and temperatures not where they're supposed to be, but again, a little warmer out there. Not warmer yet. I mean, it is a little warmer than yesterday. It's slightly better. We've got most of us into the single digits. We do have Stockton at 2 below 0, Iola at 1 below, but then take a look at the wind chills. Iola's sitting at 0. Stockton, your wind chills is the same as the temperatures. That means there's no wind. The winds are calm, and that's nice because otherwise, yesterday, these wind chills were almost 30 below 0. So some big improvements on those wind chills out there. Again, partly cloudy, skies gradually clearing. Highs today mid-upper 20s. Remember, we should be about 50, 51-ish out there. So we're not there yet, but this is about 10, 12 degrees warmer than where we were yesterday. That warming trend continues through the weekend into next week. We'll talk about that. Maybe some rain chances next week with you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, don't be surprised if you happen to see a black bear if you're a Missouri resident. Now, experts say the black bear population in the Show Me State has grown over the last 10 years. The Missouri Department of Conservation say the population growth is a success story and credits the department for the state's bear management program. The department also says the growth is a good indicator for how people are doing.
So it's just the fact that we have the positive side of this thriving bear population is it means that we have a habitat that bears can thrive in. You know, I mean, if bear populations weren't doing well, that would probably mean that there's some concerns out there for humans too.
The department says the bear's primary range is in forested areas south of I-44. Well, the bitter cold can also take its toll on your home's pipes and heating system. Now, HVAC and plumbing companies see a rise in business during this time of year, fixing broken and frozen pipes as well as furnaces. Now, while there are ways to protect your plumbing and heating, one business owner has a cautionary tale.
The heat on just like you're supposed to do, kept the water dripping, but unfortunately our pipes are on the outside of the building in a closet, and we actually have a heated fan in there as well, and it still didn't prevent it.
Well, cold weather preparation may not prevent all cold weather incidents. Experts say do what you can. One thing you can do to help protect your furnace is to change your filters, and don't forget to keep fresh batteries in your thermostat. And while winter weather provides plenty of opportunity for snow day fun, it can also provide opportunity for kids to make some extra money. As you can see, these kids in Carthage dug into the chance to not only make some extra cash, but to help out some neighbors as well.
It's great. I mean, instead of sitting around playing on their phones all day, they're out trying to make a difference, not only for themselves, but for other people.
And no word on just how much money the boys raked in or shoveled in. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. There's a slight optimism at the Vatican after tiny improvements in Pope Francis's health. Plus, the Israel-Hamas ceasefire deal faces new challenges. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Well, topping World Watch, the ancient city of Palmyra, Syria, left in ruins following nearly 14 years of war, but archaeologists and experts are hopeful change is coming. Now, according to experts, before the civil war, which started in 2011, ravaged most of Syria, the city of Palmyra attracted about 150,000 visitors a month. Palmyra is home to many historical landmarks, including temples of Bel and Balshaman and the Arch of Triumph. The landmarks were destroyed in Islamic State groups during the war, but after the recent fall of the Bashar al-Assad regime, local tourists are starting to return to visit the historical sites, leaving conservationists and archaeologists hopeful international visitors will follow. Well, Pope Francis is showing slight signs of improvement as he recovers from pneumonia. Now, Vatican spokesperson states Francis was able to eat breakfast out of bed following the 6th night of his hospital stay. And new blood tests show positive change in his inflammation. Now, the 88-year-old is being treated at Rome's Gemelli Hospital. Now, he was admitted last week after a bout of bronchitis worsened. He was diagnosed with pneumonia in both lungs on top of a polymicrobial infection in his respiratory tract earlier this week. Now, the pontiff was visited by Italian Premier Giorgia Meloni on Wednesday, and she said during their 20-minute visit that Francis was in good spirits and had joked around. Well, already on unstable ground, the ceasefire deal to end more than a year's worth of deadly fighting between Israel and Hamas is being put to test yet again. Now, this time, Israeli officials are unleashing a serious allegation about a fraudulent hostage return as a series of bus attacks is causing fresh concerns. Chanley Painter reports.
In the midst of a fragile ceasefire agreement in the Middle East, a shocking revelation from the Israeli military. Officials have positively identified the remains of 2 young hostages taken during Hamas's deadly incursion back in 2023. But instead of being accompanied by the body of their mother, Shiri Bibas, military officials say the third body released was anonymous, not matching Shiri or any other hostage. Israeli medical teams, meanwhile, have confirmed the 4th body returned by Hamas was in fact Oded Lifshitz. On Thursday, Hamas released the bodies the group said belonged to 4 Israeli hostages. A convoy transported the remains to a forensic center to be analyzed. Hamas says all 4 of the people were killed during Israeli airstrikes. Upon testing, Israeli officials say the 2 boys and Lifshitz were killed by their captors.
We all ache with pain.
But the same day Israelis were mourning the arrival of the bodies, multiple bus explosions near Tel Aviv triggered fears. Investigators say 3 empty buses blew up. Adding several bombs that hadn't detonated were also discovered at parking lots in another nearby city. No one was hurt, and as of Thursday night, no group has claimed responsibility. These updates creating uncertainty over the future of the Israel-Hamas ceasefire set to expire early next month. Hamas, meanwhile, has said it plans to free 6 living hostages Saturday in exchange for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners.
And that's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:45 on this finally Friday. We are going to start with this, a live look downtown Pittsburgh. Again, roads considerably better than where we have been here lately. You can still see, though, we got some snow here in the middle of Broadway, and then that does get into that left turn lane. So if you're making a left turn, for example, and you're going at road speed, which I know it's only 20 miles an hour, but I also know that not all of you always go 20 miles an hour. If you're not being careful, you're going to go sliding in the middle of the street, getting into that left turn lane. So you need to be cautious out there. There are still going to be slick spots. And of course, the reasons we have so many of those cancellations down there at the bottom of your screen, side roads are still almost impassable, or at least difficult to travel on. And you've got to go slow on those as well. Even though the main roads are, again, they're looking great. They're looking a lot better than they have been. You got to watch out there. And there's still going to be some slick spots here and there, some little bits of snow, some black ice out there. It's been very cold. According to KDOT, here's what we're looking at. The blue here represents clear roads, which is fantastic news. We have some wet pavement around Mound City, then back into parts of Cherokee and Labette counties, and then that little stretch of 171, K171, heading to the state line is still listed as partly covered. Now on the Missouri side, we are looking considerably better out there as well. Now on the Missouri side, the green doesn't mean wet pavement. On Missouri, it means clear. We got clear roadways across the region, save around Cassville, in parts of Berry County. Still some partly covered roadways out there that we need to watch out for. Additionally, we have the extreme cold still going on, but not as bad as it has been. I mean, in terms of the wind chills. Okay, we have cold weather advisories, Oklahoma and Arkansas through 9 a.m., and then those will expire. And it is still cold out there, but we're not dealing with the wind chills being 30 below zero like we were yesterday. Partly cloudy skies as we head into the afternoon. Those skies will gradually clear. Some of us will clear, of course, a little earlier than others. It will not help much with the warming, but we will be warmer today than where we were the last few days. Overnight tonight, another very cold night for us. So we're going to have to contend with this. And then overnight, south winds about 5 to 10, so it will make it feel a little colder. We're talking single digits for most of the wind chills. Thankfully, again, not 30 below. But as we go through Saturday, southwest winds will begin to increase, gusting upwards of 20, and that will bring in slightly warmer air. Still will be well below normal, but will be continuing to improve with those temperatures over the next few days. And it will be big improvements, especially compared to this. This is sad to look at. We've got 2 below in Stockton, 1 below in Iola, single digits for most of us with some low teens in our far southern counties. And then the winds, again, they're relatively calm this morning. So our wind chill is not that big of a deal. In fact, in Stockton, technically, you're feeling 1 degree warmer. You don't know it. You're not going to know it. Don't worry. But technically, it feels 1 degree warmer. It actually feels 1 degree warmer in Iola as well. So the winds are calm, and they're going to remain that way through today. Partly cloudy skies, single digits to start. I will make about the upper teens by 11 o'clock this morning. Our highs today, We should be about 50. We're not there, but we're about 10 degrees warmer than where we were yesterday, going mid-upper 20s with calm winds and, again, gradually clearing skies. So clear skies through the evening and overnight hours. So, again, another cold night out there, back into the low teens. Wind chills into the single digits with the south winds picking up just a bit at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And we get beyond this. We have, again, almost 10-degree increments of being warmer. Again, it's approximate. It's not exact, but we're 10 degrees, about 10 degrees warmer today than we were yesterday. Same for tomorrow and going into Sunday. So you see, it's not exact, but it's pretty close to 10 degrees. Upper 30s tomorrow, right around 50 for Sunday. Upper 50s, low 60s. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. So now we're going 10 degrees above normal. Shower chances on Wednesday. Temperatures average on Thursday. We're going to kind of bounce back and forth between above and right at normal temperatures. Either way, paint it though very nice into the 50s and 60s next week. That's a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Well, an amazing close call for a snowmobiler that became buried by a sudden avalanche and who was dug from the deep, dense snow by rescuers who say his gear helped save his life. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Harrowing video shows the moment a trapped snowmobiler resurfaces after being completely buried by an avalanche in Colorado. Video was shared by Department of Transportation officials of a natural avalanche that threatened roadways in the Vail Pass area. At nearly the same time, KUSA reports rescue officials were called to the area after reports that a snowmobiler had been buried by an avalanche. The searchers arrived and spotted an orange emergency airbag in the snow.
Sure enough, it was an airbag and there was a pack attached to it, and the guy was there. Dug down a few more feet. The guy could hear us. He told us he was okay, and we proceeded to dig him out.
Summit County Deputy Dave Wandell says the snowmobiler had been buried under 3 to 4 feet of snow for over an hour, but had been protected by his helmet, and, after some feverish digging, was able to move freely as he emerged from the dense snow. He was transported for treatment and, aside from some mild hypothermia, escaped this incredible incident relatively unscathed. Another snowy rescue in Connecticut was nowhere near as intense, but was definitely way cuter, as a baby seal was spotted in the snowy streets of New Haven. It had reportedly wandered in from the beach with a possible injured flipper and was turned over to a local aquarium for treatment, but not before a responding cop fell head over heels for reals for the seal.
You okay? Hi. Hi. Hello.
What is it about super cute animals that makes us talk like this? I don't know, but they sure do. Take a look at this.
Oh, you are so precious.
I'm Jeremy Roth.
So adorable. Stick around. We'll be right back. Well, if you've ever tried boiling an egg, you know it can be challenging, and now scientists think they have come up with a new method for the perfect hard-boiled egg. Now, their technique is known as periodic cooking. It involves alternating the eggs between boiling and lukewarm water for 2 minutes at a time. This cycle needs to be repeated 8 times for 32 minutes. Scientists say this optimally cooks the egg and yolk simultaneously without separating them, and it produces the ideal texture and flavor, and it also helps the egg retain the most nutrients. Well, Girl Scout cookie fans get excited. The organization is about to hold its biggest weekend sale. Today through Sunday marks National Girl Scout Cookie Weekend. Girl Scout cookie lovers from all over the country can order their favorite flavors for direct delivery or pickup. Now, fans can also buy in person at local Girl Scout booths. Consumers are encouraged to buy directly from a registered Girl Scout, but if they don't know a troop personally, they can use the Girl Scout Cookie Finder to locate the closest cookie booth to them.
That's a good time for Girl Scout cookies. And in terms of hard-boiling eggs, I'm not sure if I'm ready to hard-boil or scramble a year's salary at this point right now. I think I'm just going to hold on to the eggs. I'm going to put them all in one basket at this point. That way they're safer. I know where they are because they're worth a small fortune. You could fill a whole house with eggs and sell it for double. Anyway, all right, today, 4 when we start. It's cold outside right now. But then look at that, upper teens by 11. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but most of these numbers are almost 10 degrees warmer than what we had at the same times yesterday. Partly cloudy skies. Skies will gradually clear as we head through the afternoon out there. And we're still well below average. Should be about 50. We're going to be upper 20s, but winds will be calm, which will be nice. Skies will continue to clear through the evening. We have clear skies through the evening and overnight. Down into the teens, south winds 5 to 10, put our wind chills back into the single digits, so another very cold night. But it is, we're going to continue this warming process. A little breezy tomorrow, southwest winds gusting to 20, sunny, upper 30s, about 50 Sunday, upper 50s, low 60s, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe some showers on Wednesday, and we're going to hold on to the 50s and 60s as we close out next week. So a very nice week next week, just a few more days until we get there. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more after this.